It is 8:46.
Yeah, Doug Carey is going to join us in a couple seconds from Bell Lifestyle. Come on in, Doug.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a tremendous, just so you know.
Does he really?
A beautiful singing voice.
Okay, so he's going to sing us a song, and
he's
we're going to
come
talk.
in, I believe, Mariah Carey, his first choice.
No, really?
Yes.
And before he comes in, I want to remind our listeners, our audience right now, get in your Royal Rumble lists for tomorrow. So your top winners and why they actually won. Get the 1 through 10. We'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll advertise that a little bit later on as we bring on Doug Carey from Bell Lifestyle. Come on in, Doug. How's it going, man?
Yeah, because we're going to get back. We're going
to meet you.
Just
formally.
Just we'll get back to the wrestling Fridays, which is freakishly popular. What freaked me out earlier this morning was the fact that Jason Tom, who knows everything about basketball, he can tell you about any kind of collegiate basketball, G League, NBA, and when we throw the Royal Rumble at him, the guy's got answers.
Yeah, he breaks it down.
How do you have answers for that? Like, you can only know so much. I mean, stop it. So just get a little closer. We'll get rid of the fly swatter thing there.
Perfect.
Doug is the marketing director. Is that correct? Am I saying that right?
That's correct.
Or is that too fancy for you? Are you
marketing
just go
genius?
Marketing
Genius.
Sure, I like that.
See, there you go.
I don't see genius coming from him.
No, you don't. Really? I don't know. He's been good to me.
Doug, thanks for coming in. This has been our first month with Bell Lifestyle Products, and it's been really interesting how quickly this has gone. And also, we realized with some of the answers, or rather questions from some of the audience, like even stuff like gout. They're like, where do we find this stuff? Where do we get this in Mississauga? And I guess we probably have to realize that the moment we started talking about this, we probably should know where some of the products are, because they're asking already, which is a great sign. A great sign.
Well, you could get these type of products at any natural health store through Mississauga or across the GTA. So, we sell products not just in Canada, but in the U.S. and 70 different countries.
And we're going to have probably, is it Sanjeev, I think, is that?
Yeah.
We're thinking about maybe in the next week or so? Or
yeah, I think he's going to be able to make it on. And, he owns a health food store, and he can tell you all about what sort of things people come in and ask for and what you should do, which products to get.
Because there are so many products, and people, are wondering, so when it comes to Bell Lifestyle, what does it cover? Now, predominantly, we're talking about a lot of issues that our audience would have, which the majority are males. They're, anyone over the age of probably, I'd say 40, 45 starts to run into some of these issues. And you're really not sure what to do, because it's not necessarily just going to the doctor all the time. There are things you can do to either avoid the issue entirely. We're not talking about cures here. We're talking about how to relieve some of the ailments. It's why when you saw Tim Allen here 2-3 weeks ago, he went to a doctor, and I think it was about gout. I think that was
it was. It's funny how gout seems to be something popping up with everyone, and it's not just old people anymore.
No, it's not.
It's younger guys around 35 and stuff. My neighbor just came up to me randomly and said, "You know what? I'm having a really hard time. I have gout and stuff." And I'm going, "Wow, good neighbor to have, because I got a solution for you."
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah, there you go. And he took it, and it helped relieve all the symptoms that he had. So.
And that's what we're talking about. So to relieve those symptoms is massive. But people are like, we just talked about, didn't you say echinacea you were talking about the other day?
Yeah. Well, I know we were trading off emails for last week, but I was telling Mike earlier, and trust me, I'm not alone on this right now, but, you're almost like in between. Do you have a cold? Or are you healthy? You're kind of treading that line. And it's like, that's where echinacea and stuff like that comes in handy. I know you guys have it, a really good immune booster and selections of it. And that's why, stuff like that, it's like, take, obviously you have to eat properly. You have to have your fruits and vegetables. You have to take certain things and do it regularly. But the enhancers are like an echinacea immune boost, something like that. A daily supplement that helps you almost, and I compared this to a car where you're topping up your levels. You're topping up your levels where the mechanic, aka doctor, will take care of the car, but there's a lot of things you can do as a person, like working with Bell Lifestyle products, that you can help yourself maybe avoid the doctor a little bit, or at least lay off a little bit.
Absolutely. So last week I was getting a scratchy throat, a little bit of a sore throat. I could feel the swelling.
Yep.
And so I started to take some supplements then.
Yep.
The echinacea, just to fight it off before it takes hold. Right?
That's exactly it.
So it's just a little bit of a boost to get you going and hopefully avoid the whole issue in the first place.
Now, some of the other things that we will probably address as we go on, I think one of the major things, and it is something that is prevalent in our society of men of a certain age, and that's prostate.
Yes.
So we're going to do some programs on it. I know we're going to bring some people in. I'm going to talk to those that might be a little more well known, that you'll be familiar with their faces and their names, that are going to talk about some of those issues, because when it comes to men, certainly over 45, 50, and you start talking about prostate, I mean, it is of concern, and it's not rare. So I know that there is, in particular, a very good product that Bell has that deals with prostate.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the symptoms, right? It's what really bothers a lot of men is that inability to urinate properly because they have an enlarged prostate. And it's just one of those things that you don't get a good sleep, and you're frustrated, and you want to deal with it. And going the natural way is certainly a good alternative to some of the other things that are on the market. So it just brings up the awareness that, you know what, you need to get it checked on a regular basis, and you need to be aware of it as you get older. And it's something that most men will have to deal with at some point.
Yeah, or maybe your dad did, or your uncle. I mean, it's my father did. There's a lot of people that just walking around. It's maybe they're not there yet, but it's something they should be aware of, because probably uncles, aunts, or not aunts rather, but uncles, dads, grandfathers.
It's so common, exactly. And I was even looking at the website earlier today, and not only does it kind of break down product, but it breaks down product description, and then it gives you what is actually in it, and you could actually read it instead of sitting there reading it off of the bottle, and you're kind of figuring out exactly it. You can kind of study it, learn more about the product itself. Very useful website as far as just education and evaluation of what you're looking for in a product.
Now, this is, and so people understand, like when we're talking about this product itself and all the products under that Bell umbrella, it's under the natural health products. NHP, is that sort of the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're not talking about like medication. We're talking about 100% natural.
That's right. And it's still governed by Health Canada.
Right.
So all the products have to be approved. They have,
like, it's a strict regulation to fall under
very
this.
Much.
Yeah.
Used to be in this industry that these types of products were faith-based. So, I think it's going to work. I know it's going to work.
Right.
And that was the extent of it. But nowadays, it's all evidence-based. So, these are through clinical trials of the ingredients, and some of the suppliers go through great lengths to ensure that the products work and the ingredients work, and those are the sort of things you put in your formulations to make a product.
Well, Doug, thanks so much for coming in. We just love the association. It's been fun already. We've seen sort of massive increases on everything that we do, and I think this will be one of those things as we go along. We'll figure out what we can do, how many to answer the questions, to have as I said, local owners and guys who carry the products to explain to you exactly what it is. We'll do that over the next coming weeks and for the whole year. Again, we're going to probably address in maybe a slightly deeper detail when we get to the prostate. We've got a couple of things that we're going to do around that, which I think as much as you may not think that it's related to you, and you hope that it never is, but the reality is, by the numbers, prostate is... it is that
they have a prostate month as far as health is concerned. So, just like you have a cancer month and you have a diabetes month and so forth. So the breast cancer awareness, there's so many different campaigns for that. And, just using prostate as an example, there is a way to help reduce what is actually going on in the body. And, outside of, doctors and so forth, there is other stuff that you yourself can do at home. And that's why we're here to help you.
Yeah. Doug, thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
You look very like one of those professor guys.
It's my normal dress.
You do look like a professor. And I don't know if that's trustworthy.
Of course it is.
I've seen a lot of movies where maybe guys who look like that, all of a sudden,
Well, I used to be the research guy. So,
Were you a research guy?
yeah, I started off as a senior research associate in clinical biochemistry. So I was that sort of research geek.
Well, see,
So
look at
way,
you can tell.
way smarter than
Yeah,
us.
well,
Way smarter.
It just sounds really good.
no. That sounded perfect. I'm using that.
The bar on the show is low. Thanks, Dougie. We'll talk in a couple of minutes here.